All right, we're going to jump into the Wheel of Doom time, where we have random topics on the wheel. We're going to be spinning it, whatever it lands on, we'll be discussing for the next 10 minutes. See what happens.
Wheel of Doom.
All right, let's shuffle this baby up. Give it a spin.
We're running out of topics, guys. We need suggestions.
Oh, it's gonna.
Oh, where's it
maybe.
going?
Yeah.
Oh,
We got was Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest an ambitious experiment or a total mess? Dun, dun,
Russ, you're the
dun.
NES guru, as are you, Keith. But Russ, I want to hear from you on this.
Playing this one growing up, I defend this game. I had a great time playing this, where it diverged from the first game, right? First game was more like arcade style. You're just going left to right or right to left, fighting the boss at the end. With this, it gave that open world access, and I felt like it brought you out of the castle. You weren't just stuck in Dracula's castle. You got to explore swamps and the forest and go to villages or towns or whatever and talk to the people there. It just added so much more elements to the franchise, and I thought it was very um rental friendly, right, back in the day, because it had a password system, so you can rent it for the weekend, play it for 3 days, keep your password, and then the next week, unlike Legend of Zelda, if you rented it, you're like, "Oh, someone saved over my save." You can use the password system to get back into it and maybe chat with your friends to try to get some secrets going. How do you get to this mansion, or do I need this crystal to let something else happen into it? And I certainly had a great time playing it, reading about it in Nintendo Power. And without this game, you would never gotten Castlevania Symphony of the Night, because then that took the formula and polished it a little bit more, right? And that became the staple of, like, this is where Castlevania games need to be at. It's not going to be that side scrolling, you know, adventure game anymore. Even though they did go to that for the third game, they kind of went back to the roots.
I was
But
gonna
after
say,
that,
like they experimented with this one, then they were like, "Ooh, let's go back to what we did before because that was working."
right, it's kind of interesting where they dialed it back, and then even then on the Super Nintendo, it was almost just like a remake of the first game with just better graphics. It wasn't
Yeah.
until the N64 where they had more of a adventure style game on it there.
I mean, I don't know how you defend the day and night cycle in the
Yeah.
second one, where it like all of a sudden it's like you're cruising along and all of a sudden it's like, ooh, and then there's like, why can't it just turn to night? Why do I need a text box telling me that it's and everything stops and then I'm getting killed by a guy I was trying to
What a
avoid?
what a terrible night to have a curse.
Right?
There are
Yeah, terrible night.
some great ROM hacks that you can get, where they kind of polish certain stuff in the game, where it's a smoother transition on that, or what the people say in the village is more helpful, because in the original game, a lot of the stuff that the people say is almost gibberish because they
Yeah.
are cursed or scared of what Dracula might do to them. So they're giving you wrong information. And people guess didn't get that or read the backstory or whatever. So they're like, we'll fix that.
Or they're not there when it's nighttime. You have to go back and wait until it's daytime
Right.
and
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
hang out in town in
Mhm.
front of the inn until it's daytime to talk to the guy.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? You guys got anything on this one?
I had a ton of fun playing this one as a kid. I never beat it, but I really had a lot of enjoyment just kind of wandering around and seeing where I can go with it. I think that it was far too advanced for me at the time. Um, but I honestly think that also had to do with I played this Castlevania before the first Castlevania.
Okay.
So I feel like because of that, I just figured this is what Castlevania was.
Right. Going in like, okay, here we go. Here it is. You had nothing to
Yeah.
compare it to be like,
So
oh,
I
they
had
deviated.
no is right. I had no issues with it. It's certainly ambitious. There's I never grasped the fact that you needed to do things like certain at night and certain things during the day. But I have not played it in a very long time. But I do remember that, yeah, I know that people ragged on it a lot, but part of me, maybe because of the nostalgia talking, I kind of preferred it over the original one just because I think that there was I don't know, there's just more elements to it. There was more story and a lot of, depth to playing it.
Mhm.
Could I do it now? Maybe. I probably still need some
Some
hint
guidance, yeah.
guidance for it, but I think if you look at that today, yeah, in today's day, you got crazy games that do the exact same thing, right? So, was it a trendsetter as well? Um, I enjoy it. So, I think that, yes, it's ambitious, but it's also a lot of fun. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think, David, you're hitting it on the head, which is like it's so obtuse, but was that a fun thing to have to dig through and figure out what everyone's saying and read between the lines and all that kind of stuff? And so for that, thank you.
Oh.
Appreciate that. Um,
You deserve it.
so I think like most people revile the game because it was not fun, to have to kneel for however long for the tornado to come and bring you the thing, and that's something you found out because one of the out of the all the townspeople you talk to, only one of them's telling you the truth or whatever. Like I haven't played much of the game, but you know for some people that's a lot of fun. For me, it is not, which is why I think it's a crappy game.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Keith says, "Get this junk out of here." I am excited for there's a new game coming out that is basically a remake of this in the new era sense. It's called, trying to remember the name because it's a long terrible name. It's like the Castlevania adventure of Simon Quest or whatever. It's made by the same people that done um what the heck is the other one? I always say Retroware is putting it out. Um they have a few games. They're doing the Toxic Crusader beat 'em up game, and they're doing
Mhm.
there's
Oh,
like
cool.
a there's like a Contra something game. I could see if I can bring up some quick gameplay footage, but it adds like a better map system so you know where to go, and it's coming out on modern console so you can do a lot more, but it's made to look, retro.
And it's based on Simon's Quest,
Yes. Yeah, let me see if I can get the title in here.
so it's kind of like a remaster?
Simon's Quest Transylvania Adventure. The Transylvania Adventure of Simon Quest. Sorry, that's the full name. Look, I
They're
mean, they
very
could come up
wordy folk, aren't they?
That's very wordy.
just so they won't get sued by Nintendo. They just can't say, "Hey, it's this." But it looks awesome. Here's a quick preview of it,
Oh, yeah, huh?
but it's coming out pretty soon.
Hmm.
This is like the announcement trailer. If you played Curse of the Moon, Bloodstain, obviously inspiration from that, but they added, big map world and everything. So it's what Castlevania, Simon's Quest, and NES want it to be, but couldn't be because of limitations, essentially. So I'm
Well,
super excited for this. Yeah.
there's no
Cool.
limitations in all those colors they're using for sure.
That's really cool.
Oh, look, you could pet a dog.
Yeah, yeah.
I love
Minecart
petting
stage.
dogs.
Of course, we have the minecart
A
stage.
Donkey Kong minecart.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. So
Cool.
if you're into Castlevania, then perhaps you could check this one out.
A
You get it now.
crab?
A crap.
Right. It looks delicious. Think of all the
I
legs there.
I like the fire whip in the snow.
Yeah. Nice.
You think that's a metaphor, like something about the duality of our internal sort of worlds? How we can have both coexist at the same time. All of us who are good still have the capacity for evil, but they still live in the same body.
Either that or, just like Beavis and Butthead said, fire is cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's something deeply spiritual about the game you just showed us, Russ.
That sounds great.
Excellent.